everyone. My name is Lydia, and this is what I wish they taught me about econometrics and introduction. We've seen that dummy variables measure differences between groups, but what does that look like graphically? In this video, we're going to visualize what the dummy variable is actually doing at the regression line. So without further ado, let's start with the base regression. Let's stick to our example of the previous videos, the baseline regression being y equals to beta 0 plus beta 1 dummy variable plus beta 2x. And for ease of interpretation, we're going to think that the dummy variable is equal to 1 if someone is employed and 0 if unemployed. We're also going to assume y is a variable income, while x is going to be years of education. In order to check how exactly this dummy variable is showing or affecting our regression line, we're going to work with cases. We're going to first take the case where the dummy is equal to 0. What we're doing in there is that we are actually selecting and looking into people that are unemployed. So in a sense, out of all of your Excel spreadsheet entries on the observations, you're technically selecting only the lines where you have this dummy equal to 0. So this case, it's giving you the regression line for unemployed individuals. So how does the regression line present? It's going to be y hat equal to beta 0 plus, because we have substituted the d with a 0, this beta 1 times d technically disappears now from our regression, and we're left only with beta 2x. Okay? So this is the estimated regression line for unemployed. So regression line for unemployed individuals. And in terms of this line, the beta 0 hat, that is our intercept, and beta 2 hat, that's our slope. So if we were to translate this information into an actual graph, then we would have x on our x-axis, y in here. We're going to have some beta 0 hat in here, and the estimated line would look like here, assuming this is our beta 2 hat. So this is the line for unemployed. Now that we have case 1, let's look into case 2. For case 2, we're going to assume now d is equal to 1. So what are we doing here technically? Now we are looking at the entries of employed people. So remember that Excel spreadsheet where initially we got all the lines where we had d equal to 0, where now we're concentrating on the ones where we have this entry with dummy 1. And how does the regression translate here? We're going to have y hat equals to beta 0 hat plus. The d has been now substituted with a 1. So if you imagine d being a 1, you're technically multiplying beta 1 times 1, which should give you simply beta 1. Then we're going to have beta 2 hat x. Look carefully in here. This is the regression line for employed people. And the intercept for this new line is the sum of beta 0 hat plus beta 1 hat. And beta 2 hat still remains the slope. Okay? So assuming, I'm making a further assumption in here that both beta 0 hat is positive and beta 1 hat is positive. If I were to translate now this line into the same graph that I have here, well, I'm shifting beta 0 up by beta 1 hat. So I'm going to have a number here, beta 0 hat plus beta 1 hat. And the slope of the line, it's still the beta 2. So technically, I have a parallel line to my initial black line here. So this now is going to be a new regression line with the slope beta 2, but with an intercept of beta 0 plus beta 1, which means this green line now is the regression for the employed. So as you can see, adding a dummy, so the dummy coefficient is a change in intercept, which translates as a parallel shift of the regression line. Okay, so the slope has remained the same. That's why it's parallel, but the intercept has changed. And that means we have the shift up or down, depending on the signs that we have. Now, for the unemployed case, you had that the intercept was simply beta 0 hat. For the employed case, you had that it was beta 0 hat plus beta 1 hat. So what does that mean? That the beta 1 by itself is the difference between the two, because you're moving from beta 0 to beta 0 plus beta 1. So beta 1 by itself is the difference. Okay, and that's why we've been saying in the previous videos that indeed the dummy coefficient in front of the dummies is just the difference between the two groups. Okay. This also explains why the gap between the lines is constant, because being that the slopes are identical, the only difference between the two is just the intercept. I hope this was helpful, and stay tuned for the next video.